Hello, it is with amnesia. Was it oh I'm just trying to make a video of what I'm thinking about what I'm planning out Hillsbrad Foothills. Basically I want to make like a big super vanilla server, right? But it'd be a long journey, and if it ever gets done, it'd be interesting. But in the meantime, I just want to just make stuff, right? Was it what really I don't know, thought was kind of neat of vanilla was people always talk about, before the battlegrounds happened, there's a big open world combat. So let's see if we can get a better perspective here. There's a big open world combat going on, right? Like you'd have the Terran. Oh, man. Sorry, the open broadcast software just makes the Nugget just chug, right? So um, the recording software, you'd have like your Terran mail, you'd have your South Shore, and then you'd fight, right? Because they're really close together. But what was it? Yeah, but then I looked at the area. Okay, like it's like if you look at the map, like for Eastern Kingdoms, this would be the conflict zone because naturally it's just you both level up here, and you're right beside. There's the Forsaken Undercities right over there, and you have your alliance, and they all kind of meet up right here, right? And you fight over this, and also the Kalimdor equivalent of this is Ashenvale, right? So I was thinking that as a higher level uh, incentives for PvP, you'd basically have, like, if I can get phasing to work, I could export it back from Wrathlit change like the vanilla. It would I don't know if that could be possible, but if it could, I would basically make a few changes. For example, the Forsaken would make a move on this place because they're already kind of you know already monkeying around with stuff, right? First thing before we get to Dalaran is this: if you want to make a war, like like actually, you need a supply line. You can't just fly shit in or stuff in all the time. It's a bit too taxing. You could also use that for like people and stuff like that, and also put them into, it's just a bit too taxing, right? And also, if you take your skylines down, you have a really disadvantage, right? You're basically you're setting yourself up for failure, right? So I was thinking you'd have like your undead, right? And you'd have a quest to basically go to the plague lands where you find those beetle things that make this the burrow. There's a cave or whatever somewhere that's like made by a bunch of beetles, and like the Nubrak or whatever. Not, but those beetle people, and you'd basically go there like a hit and strike. You'd basically capture them, right, and bend them to your will. You're already undead, so you don't really fear the plague, whatever, right? You're already, you basically take them. You're, if you're high level, you're like an elite unit, whatever, right? You're like the commando, right? You go in there, you take those guys, and you bend them to your will. Because I think Sylvanas kind of showed that, and was it when they were fighting over a town, whatever. She had one of her Death Knight commander guys, and made a truce with the Alliance, and she, I'll bend you to my will to make you a better, for the Horde, whatever, right? So that's kind of, it's already happens, like lore wise with the undead. So and plus you could do something, right? And then they'd basically make a tunnel, right? You'd plan out to make a tunnel. You'll capture them, whatever. But I think before that, though, it would make more sense to actually have a quest to take over this town here, because this is like it's right by Terran Mill, and also if you're gonna plan on a tunnel, I was thinking that like you would have, for example, the tunnel would go from. Sorry for the chugging of the engine. I'm sorry, guys. It's just that by. It's just this is what I got to work with right now. It's you'd have like a tunnel from here, go in, and you go from here, right? Because if you go to Terran Mill, it's kind of a bit of a stretch, and also this place is right on the way, so you take over that. If you're making a move, take over stuff, you take it over anyway, right? So yeah, you take over the town, you make it so it's all unidentified, right? And then you have I was also thinking that each continent would have two little hubs, or maybe two hubs of like PvP place. For example, you'd have like almost like a PvP guild house, but not quite, right? Just like a big place where all the big commando veteran dude guys hang out, right? So, you'd have like one here that will specialize in some things like that. Maybe like one in the dwarf place, whatever, the dwarf mountain, or something like that. Or maybe to like also some over on the Kalimdor with like Ashenvale, right? I don't know, with the elves. You have like an elf fortress, like harking back to like the old school elf concept. I don't know. You'd just figure out something, right? But you'd have like this. Either way, you'd have like this little like if that got scrapped, you just have like a tunnel going from here, and be kind of a secret place, and then you'd go all the way to here, right? So you can actually have a supply chain, right? It's more direct and it's better and undead, you know, kind of burrowy thing. It kind of fits them almost, right? And also have the Undercity, so you know, it's suiting, right? And also use, you know, it's almost harkening back to like Warcraft, you know, the roots with the whole using the beetle people, right? For the undead. So you'd have that. And also you'd make like a road going across here, connect like your horde all track place, right? And that would be like your phased area, and then that'd be like a build up quest, like that in Northrend there, where they built up that tower, where you had to basically take over this like plagued place and make like a tower and stuff, and you know, and then but the Alliance version of that would basically be like, you know, the wars happened, was it and oh wait a second, before I get ahead of myself here, there's one other thing, Fenris Isle. You would also have a quest to take this over, right? You basically take it over if you're the Forsaken. You take over Fenris Isle. You would build a, you know, you get some supplies. You do like the hard like fighty work, right? You take this over, and also you maybe help supplies and scout it out, and you know, as you make a bridge going across here, there's a bit of a mound here, so kind of like a arc thing, and then you take that over, and then you make like a forward operating base, right? And then you try to make a bridge going across here, or maybe here or something, right? Probably here though. And this would be, let's go back, let's go into the Battle of Dalaran Crater. So I was thinking that since the Forsaken wanted to make a move, right, you'd have the other places that talking about Terran Mill, right, you know, trying to battle, trying to take over Hillsbrad, right, and there's this, you know, maybe there's a certain power, right, because you're tinkering around with like alchemy and stuff like that, right, and other, you know, sources of magic, right, and also you have like the high elves, whatever, right, and everything over there, but that's not here nor there, but maybe there's some significant strategic value to, you know, the residual magic. Look how much energy is here, like, holy jeez, right? There's also like sewers and stuff, which you could maybe like make it like a broken in, like an instance or something there, or you know, maybe because there's see the little sewer pipes, like I think they added that in this whole, fleshed out a little bit more in Wrath of the Lich King. But yeah, you'd have like a battle over here, so you'd have like, you take this over and build it up. This would be like your instance high level version of it, right? And not instanced, phased, right? And then the Alliance equivalent to that, because you know they realize, okay, while you're doing that, like, you know, they would okay, there's war going to happen. They're making a move. We need to take our resources. So you have Stormwind, you'd have the dwarves, you have like the gnomes, and they'd also try to, you know, build this up, right? So South Shore would also get built up along with Terran Mill. Would have like, you know, fortifications. This is a high level version of it, right? And they'd have like a castle over here or something built up, and they'd make a road here, and this would be your forward operating base. You take this over, that'd be like your equivalent of this little like chunk of this island right here. And you take that over, and you know, road across here. Then you try to take over this chunk of Dalaran here, and then while the Horde would try to take over this chunk of Dalaran, and you'd fight naturally in the middle, right? And maybe that could be like somewhat like, you have like some type of open world PvP incentives here, like every 3 hours a big thing spawns, or you battle over the Dalaran crater, or like there's another one I want to get to later on, but you know, you have little rewards to get people, you know, fighting, and then you have a big giant reward for the big battle. You know, whoever wins it gets like a big, gets a lot, like most of the reward, right? Harkening back to like the almost like Wintergrasp, right? But that's just a thought, early concept of it, right? And also you could easily do, just make like you could do like a quest or whatever, right? And just monkey around with that. If I get phasing in or something like that. If I can't get phasing in, you could just somehow figure out a way to build that up with also keeping this zone in, and you'd basically have like a battle of the Dalaran crater, which you'd have, you know, you'd have yeah, and Warcraft's not all about scale and stuff. For example, like the Ultrek Valley is, you can't find Ultrek Valley in here. Just, you know, this is where it's supposed to be. But you have, lo and behold, you have an Alliance PvP place right there, and you have a Horde PvP place right there. So you know, it's just about the theming, right? So you'd have like your theme of battle over Dalaran Crater, right? And you have a battleground there, and then also there's another place when I was zooming around that kind of dawned on me, is that what was it? Let's see here. If I get this thing turned around, it's Sternhold right here, but the proximity of it is that it's right beside Terran Mill. I can just get this camera like working. There we go. There's Terran Mill there, and there's whatever place. So look at that. So here's Terran Mill. There's the big walls right here. Can't quite get it in, but yeah. So or Terran Mill's here. Here's the dwarf place, and there's what was it? The big castle place, whatever, right? And this holds significance strategically because here's the one of the main human alliance like supply lines, right? If you're having a war, you need your supply lines. That's you need it. And so if you're Terran Mill, you want to cut that off, right? So you want to and also like if a war happens, you'd have like an alternate road going in here. You'd have like the dwarfs would make a road from here to here, right? And just for better things, right? And then yeah, so then you try to take over this. If you're the horde, if you're the dwarfs, you try to fight over this because you don't want that supply chain. You want to prevent you want to keep you protect your supply chain, right? If you're the horde, you want to cut that out. You want to stop that. So you want to take over. And this is like a big ass castle too. So that's big significant value. So that could be another what was it or a battleground, right? The theming is already there. So just to top it all off, you'd have later on the high level quest would be that the horde's making a move. The Forsaken, you go if you're you basically take over um, Strombrad. I'm not Strombrad. I can't remember what it's called. The something Brad, and you take that over, and then you go and capture some digging beetle things, bend them to your will, make a tunnel from that place there, and then you basically connect that up, and then you have a flank. You have one flank, and then you basically go and take over the castle over here, and then you can pick which one you wanted, I guess, but or maybe that one would be more significant, but yeah, and then you just take this over, make a forward operating base, and you battle that over, and that'd be what the horde would be up to, and then you try to also maybe like, you also have Terran Mill all fortified and stuff like that, right? Then you'd have South Shore all fortified, then you can have big open world PvP in here, right? And then you could just incentivize PvP for higher levels, just turn this into like a big higher level, just two factions competing, because it's like other expansions didn't really focus on open world PvP too much, so it was kind of like just off to the side. So I think if you can get phasing in here, it'd be a very good thing. But yeah, that's just I don't know, that's just a thought, plan, whatever, right? The very smallest version, I guess, what could happen is if I can't get phasing to work, I just make like an instance, like or a battleground rather, maybe like one for Dalaran Crater, and maybe one for Durnhold. What was it? Yeah, so with the dwarves, because the theming is already there, so that would be like the lowest version, I guess, but the highest version would be like just a kind of a bit of a revamp of the zones, like it'd be built up and be a war going on. It'd feel like there's war, right? And there'd be incentives, and it'd be it really incentivized fighting, right? So then you'd feel like the factions would battle and stuff like that, right? And these ogres would be kind of a bit of a kick ass, right? So it'd be kind of like you could, I don't know what to do with those guys, but yeah, and that's also maybe it could do something with the zone too with this place. This is kind of like an not unused, but not really super utilized place, right? So I can't remember if I'm forgetting anything. Oh, also the dwarves I think would make another video of Stromgard and this dwarf place. Since the proximity of this dwarf place and the Ironforge airport is pretty close. Pardon me. I'd probably make I'd get this camera working. Probably make like an airstrip up here, right? Let's just rework that, make an airstrip, right? And just make this a bit better and more fleshed out. And yeah, so anyway, that's this, and I'll make another video what I'll do with the dwarf place and also Stromgard General, maybe the wall too, I don't know, but yeah, what was it, bye for now guys, take care, and this is With Amnesia, signing out.